And I'm pretty sure we are live. What is going on, everybody who's going to be watching this back because nobody's in the stream yet? Hope all of you are having a great day. Let me go ahead and mute everything just in case. So, who will it be? Who's going to win this whole best military YouTuber competition? Sonny, Ray the Greatest, Nerd Avoid. What's up, bro? King Lion, Butter Stealth. Holy cow, y'all are all joining like crazy. Elijah, Nicole, Matt, Mr. Please, Mr. Pease Plays. Yo, dude, I watch all your videos. Thank you so much. Roman, freaking King, you already here. Hi, everybody. Sharpshooter. What's going on, everybody? So, who do you think's gonna win this whole best military YouTuber competition? Who do you guys think's gonna win? Who do you guys think is going to win? My question is, fastest... Jacob, you're hilarious. So many people joined at once. I know a lot of people did join at once. What's up, Ryan? So yeah, who do y'all think is going to win this whole best military thing? Do you think it's going to be Nava just because he's the biggest? Or do you think there's going to be an upset, right? Of course me. You're going to get close. Man, you guys are commenting fast. Hey, what battalion and company were you in at Gordon? I was at Echo 551. Echo 551. What are the options? Let me do this so I don't have to look off to the side to read y'all's comments. So then I'm looking more centered. Luke's Trucking Life, just starting it off, bro. What's going on, man? How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. So how are you doing? You're just MVP for life. Nick Bear for sure. Yeah. I think it'll either be, see, like if Nava pushes his base, then he's got like double everybody. My thing here is I feel like anybody who gets in the final four is really like the winner because everybody knows a Nava. And everybody really knows Nick Bear. But then who are going to be those other two people that are going to be in the Final Four? That's the question. Nicole, thank you. So I go to MEPS this coming Thursday. Any tips? Yes. Whatever you have on your paperwork. MEPS is really simple as long as you just stay true to your paperwork. So whatever you have on your paperwork. You will win $100 if you lose, so it's a win-win. That doesn't make any sense. When is this going to be decided? I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, guys, I do want to go ahead and let you guys know this because I caught this on Kyle. Kyle said this. Kyle Gott, the guy who's doing a whole tournament thing. The left side of the bracket. So if you're looking at the picture of the bracket, good gosh, man. Luke's Trucking Life, you're just ridiculous. Thank God it's working this time around. Oh, no. But if you're looking at the bracket, Kyle Gott said that the left side of the bracket, that's going to go, he's going to do all of those on Monday. And then the right side of the bracket, which I'm on the right side, is going to be Tuesday. So Tuesday, you guys can expect to go to Twitter and vote for me to do this. So Matt Ward's going to win. When can you please stream in your base? What do you mean in my base? Like on post? That would actually be something kind of cool. How much do you improve on your runtime at basic if you give it all during PT? That's actually a good question. What was his name? Carl Leanin. So here's my thing. If you go to basic training, and my personal belief is if you go to basic training and your 2-mile run time before basic training is about 14:30, right? If you're about 14:30, I think you have a really good chance of breaking 13 flat, right? So that'll be a 1.5 minute improvement there. If you go to basic training and your run time is 16 minutes, I think by the end of basic training, if you push yourself, you should be well below 14, which means you'll be in the 13s. If you go to basic training and your 2-mile run time is, over 20 minutes, then you're going to be, your run time is going to be in like the 16 minutes, maybe even 15, depending on how well you do. It kind of just depends. What's the hardest thing about the Army? I don't know. Like, the hardest thing, like, when you're doing stuff is just, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really think there's like a hardest thing about the army. Like, there's not like a task or something that's like super hard for you to do. So, like, when you get to basic training, it's not like there's like this one task that is just like ridiculously harder than everything else. It's just being there. So, like, in a training environment, that sucks. You know, talking about what's the hardest thing about basic training, I guess it's just being gone away from home. Thank you. Congrats on 21K. Yeah, we hit 21K. So, I don't know of any one thing. When you were in the army, like advanced training, did you think army girls were attractive? Yeah, there's definitely some girls in the military that are definitely good looking. That you just have that thought in your head, like, why you're pretty good looking. Why are you in the military? You should be doing like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of people in the military. How old am I? I'm 24. 24. Gonna be honest, you might not be the best military YouTuber, but you will be the best army YouTuber. Thank you. I mean, I guess I kind of agree with that. I mean, I don't think at least as of right now, like, I don't think I should win like the best military YouTuber. But I am slowly improving. Things are going to get better. I'm actually fairly new when it comes to YouTube. It's surprising that I'm ranked as high as I am on this thing. So currently on that little tournament, I'm seeded 19. But I checked out all my competition and stuff and look at the subscribers, and everything went off of the subscribers. And if the bracket were to be built today, I would be ranked 14. So the fact that if it were to be built today, that I'm ranked 14 out of 68 is really crazy to me. So, how do you pass the electrical information on the ASVAB? I don't know for your circumstances. I know for me, I took electronics and electrical engineering stuff in high school, so I did really well on that portion of it. How's your last name Ward and mine is Ward? Because, there's millions, there's probably a million people with the last name Ward or more. Who chooses your battle buddy, or I have to be friendly? Believe it or not, I don't know if you're actually joking or not, but believe it or not, there's a lot of people who ask me, like, how do you choose a battle buddy? And, what? There's a lot of people that ask, like, how do you pick a battle buddy? A battle buddy is anybody. So, like, when you're at basic training, your battle buddy is just whoever's next to you, whoever, like, it could be your bunkmate. It's just anybody. Your battle buddy is just somebody who's with you, who's got your back in whatever little situation. You got to go to the latrine. You got to go to the bathroom. Grab a battle buddy. Grabbing that battle buddy, that could be literally anybody. Is there a hard learning curve when learning to shoot a gun for the first time? For me, no. But I think a lot of that, like, athleticism, like, it's not like shooting like takes athletic ability, but athletic people who are pretty good at a lot of things like that, they usually pick up on things very quickly when it comes to your body movements. So, like, if they're going to pick up a new sport, if they're going to pick up shooting, or whether it's freaking bow and arrow stuff, like, athletic people generally pick up on things a little bit faster when it comes to that. So, yes and no. I mean, it just depends, I guess. Yeah, I am in college. I'm currently going through the ROTC program, and I should graduate this May. As long as I don't, like, fail a class or something, it's gonna be pretty tough. Nice. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. How long have you been force in total? I don't know what you're talking about, but my 3 years will be coming up in the military in a month and 5 days. In a month and 5 days, that'll be when my time in service date is, which will be 3 years at that time. Explain day 1 and day 2 of reception. I have done that before, but basically day 1 and 2, you're not going to be doing a lot of sleeping. You're going to be getting issued uniforms. Pretty much the first stuff that you get issued is like a bag. You get issued, like, the first thing I think you get literally at reception is a duffel bag. Then you get your duffel bag, and then you put everything else in your duffel bag. Your uniform, your name tapes. Those are some of the first things you get. I remember towels was like also one of the first things you get. So what is the ROTC program? I've got several videos on that, but it is the Reserve Officer Training Corps, I believe is what that stands for. And that's how we get officers, or one of the ways that we get officers. I'm going to Fort Benning. What should I expect when I get there? For basic training, Fort Benning reception is much worse than every other basic training reception. So what should you expect? Not to get any sleep the first night. And yes, that's pretty much it. And I've got plenty of other videos talking about that. Whoa. I don't have any, but can people with disabilities join the military? I mean, disabilities is a very broad term, but probably not. Do you know anything about Fort Sill? I know only about what Fort Sill, from what people have told me, and I've never heard anything good about Fort Sill. My brother was at Fort Sill. Other people that I know are at Fort Sill. Nobody likes Fort Sill from what I understand. What's up, Carla? What's up, Alondra? How was the night infiltration course like? Where you have to crawl while they fire live bullets over your head? So we just call it Nick at Night, the night infiltration course, which Nick at Night or whatever is, I guess, pretty repetitive. You say night twice or whatever. But Nick at Night is basically where it's like the last week or so of basic training. You will be all lined up. It's gonna be nighttime, right? So it's gonna be nighttime. You're gonna be lined up behind like this trench wall, like back in like freaking World War I or whatever, World War II, where they had trenches. And you're gonna be behind one of those things, and then there's gonna be like barbed wire. It's not really barbed wire. It's just wire that's not got all the barbs on it or whatever. So there's gonna be that, and you probably got, I don't know, a good 2 to 3 feet above you, and you're gonna have to carry your weapon. You're gonna have to low crawl, and it's about 100 yards or so that you're gonna have to go. And the drill sergeant's gonna be yelling at you. There's gonna be bullets flying over you in the ground. So in like while you're climbing or crawling through the sand, there's gonna be like holes and pipes and stuff where you're not gonna be able to go over to them, but they're gonna be like in between you. So like 5 feet away from you, 10 feet away from you, in the ground, there's gonna be like explosions and stuff going off. So that's really loud. So you have to wear ear protection when you're doing this, because there's gonna be explosions going off beside you, which is really freaking cool. But you're not really thinking about it. You're just like having to go real fast because the drill sergeants are yelling at you, and it's like really exhausting. It is really exhausting to low crawl with your rifle that far. You're wearing all your gear and stuff, so you're flicking everything and just dragging the sand, and it just makes it harder to crawl. And it was by far one of the most tiring things I've ever done, because I was actually, I guess, pushing it. But if you go slow, then it makes it a longer process. So people join the military with flat feet. Don't worry about it. Flat feet, don't worry about it. There's plenty. Hey, John. Plenty of people that join with flat feet. Gosh, I've missed like 60 comments. Jeez. American Fighter, yeah. And it's red, white, and blue. Isn't that awesome? So, I've broken both my wrists when I was young. Can I still join the Army? Yeah, you'll probably have to get a waiver for it, but as long as it doesn't impede your movement or anything. What is your rank? My rank is complicated. Technically, I get paid as an E5, but as a cadet, the cadet rank is an actual rank. A lot of people in that one video where I talked about the cadet rank, they're like, oh, it's not a rank. A cadet is an actual rank. You can look it up in Army regulations. The cadet rank ranks between a E9 enlisted command sergeant major and a W1 warrant officer. So that's where that falls into the rank structure. So that's my rank technically. And thank you. Good to see you tonight. Thank you, Ann. And what the heck? We got Luke's Truck and Driver over here again. Luke's Truck and Life. That's what it is. Any running cadences in the Army, anything like what Hollywood has portrayed? Yeah, running cadences are awesome. Except for once you start getting tired. One of my, I would say, if you were to ask me like one of my like favorite parts about basic training, not a specific parts, but my favorite parts about basic training is like the running cadences and like just calling cadence whenever your information, and just like that motivation that you feel. If you have an awesome drill sergeant who's really good at calling cadence, it's like it's really fun. And whenever you're running in like a platoon formation, you got to do a running cadence. It's fun for the first little bit, and everybody's sounding off and stuff. And then after a while, you're just like, I'm freaking tired, and you just having to keep on going. And you're just like, you're trying to breathe and run and call cadence, and it's just tiring. So, but yeah, there's running cadences. Like you can literally just Google on YouTube, or YouTube, not Google on YouTube, but you can YouTube like running cadences and stuff like that. And it's weird because I feel like drill sergeants have like a specific voice. So like a lot of drill sergeants, it just sounds the same, which is crazy. So are phones allowed in advanced training? If you're talking about AIT, yes, depending on the AIT. If it's like if it's like a 10-week AIT or longer, then you don't have to worry about losing your phone or anything. If it is shorter than that, then maybe like the first week. Sometimes the first week or so you can't have your phone at AIT, but it just depends. So thank you, proudly served, for the win. Thank you. Is it for the win? What is your favorite running cadence? My favorite running cadence. My favorite running cadence, it doesn't have a name, so like, I can't remember. I think it was kind of based off of something, but I don't think it was actually a running cadence. So what would happen is one of my platoon sergeants at AIT, he would like ad-lib running cadences and stuff, and so he would like make it up as he went, and that's when you know you're a good cadence caller and you're like really good. And he had a like motivational voice, and it was just like, I don't know, that was like my favorite thing for him. And oh my goodness, Tommy, I'm sick right now, so I don't have much. Don't know how much later I'll stay up. Wanted to give you this before I go. Thank you, Tommy. I really, really freaking appreciate that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Freaking awesome. Oh, halo, infantry. Yeah, that's not a running cadence, but I love that cadence. There's several cadences that I know. For those of you who don't know, whenever I was at basic training, I was the platoon leader, and my drill sergeants didn't really like calling cadence. So because I was a platoon leader, I called cadence like everywhere we went. So from the time I became the platoon leader, which was like the first couple weeks in, there's an alarm going off outside. But anyways, so from the time I became the platoon leader, I called cadence up until like the last week of basic training or whatever, or the last couple days of basic training. And so through that, I learned a whole lot of cadences. And I remember after like a couple weeks, because when you get to basic training at reception, the drill sergeants will do like, I'm a steamroller baby, and hey, Captain Jack. And maybe one other cadence, like here we go again, same old crap again. So you'll know like 3 cadences once you arrive to basic training because of reception. And so everybody repeats the same cadences over and over and over again at the beginning. And I remember sending a letter to my family to ask them to send me a letter of a whole bunch of cadences. So my parents printed off a list or a couple papers of a whole bunch of different cadences, and I memorized and tried to learn some of those things, and did that. So anyways, how many years you plan on doing the reserves? The entirety. So if I were to actually go off of my plan, like 24 years is how long I want to do. So let me scroll back down here. What is the best part of basic? I just talked about that, the cadence calling. I freaking love that. That's also a lot of other people's good memories of basic training. It's just like when you're calling cadence and when you're in that and everybody's like motivated and stuff, it's really cool. So is it a good idea for a female to enlist? Yeah, I mean, it's just as good for a guy or a girl, in my opinion. 1, 2, 3 for United States Marine Corps. When are you going to Ranger School? So right now, if I get the chance to go to Ranger School, it looks like it's probably going to be early 2019. So it'll be about a year from now. that I would go to Ranger School. How different is basic training for females versus males? It's hard for me to answer that question because I went to Fort Benning, so there were no females whenever I was there. But for females at basic training, from what I understand, it's not that big of a difference. I know some things, like I've talked about before, like the only difference that I can think about is I've never seen a drill sergeant take a ruck off of a male soldier, but I have seen them take a ruck off of a female soldier. That's like literally the only difference. I'm talking about when they're doing a ruck march. But I mean, everything else should be the same. Wish we did cadence at our basic. You didn't, Java Link? You didn't? How long have you been in the force total? How long? Have you been asking me that same question like 50 times? I've been in them for like 3 years. 3 years. How long does it take to go to basic from when you sign up? That is completely up to you. And I don't mean it's completely up to you. It completely depends. So if basic training slots are filled up, then it might be a couple of months. It might be a month. For some people, it might be a couple of weeks. So I would say the range is literally from the time you go to a recruiter, you could swear in the next week. And then from that time, the shortest amount of time after that could be 2 weeks, or it could be, up to 6 months, really. So it just depends on how long that takes. And you will get E5 drill pay and OE pay. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, whenever I become an officer, as a second lieutenant, you got O1E and you got O2E and O3E, which basically means you were enlisted beforehand. So my second lieutenant pay is going to be more because I was enlisted before, which is freaking awesome. Is it hard to reclassify your MOS? Yes and no. It is extremely difficult to reclass to a different MOS if it's not available, or the option is available, or your unit doesn't want you to, because then you just can't do it. It's really easy to reclass if you're wanting to reclass to a different MOS that your unit needs. So if you have some MOS, doesn't matter, if you have an MOS and your current unit needs another MOS more than they need your current one, then it wouldn't be as difficult for you to try and switch. Anyways, will this live stay up? I probably missed a lot of good information. I haven't missed too much. I mean, I've only done about 20 minutes so far. But yeah, after I upload live streams, they automatically process or whatever and then go to YouTube. So anyways, so what happens if I bomb out of 18 X-ray? You'll likely go infantry or like Cav Scout or something combat related. So something that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't know this, or they don't understand this, or whatever. So people do fail jobs in the military. So you could get a certain MOS, but it doesn't technically mean you're going to be that MOS, because you could go to that school, you could go to basic training, and then you could go to that school and then fail, because a lot of these schools are difficult. So like 68 series medics and stuff like that, or like EOD, or 18 series, which is special forces, like it is, a pretty good chance that you're going to go to that school, if you don't really work hard, that you're going to fail. And if you fail 18 X-ray, for example, special forces, you're probably going to get reclassed to a different MOS that is kind of similar to what you're doing. So, they're not going to reclass a special forces guy, or would have been special forces guy, to like a cook or something. I mean, maybe it's happened before, but it's probably not going to happen. It would be more likely that they would reclass you to infantry or Cav Scout, or just naming things off of my head, 12 Bravo, whatever. So some kind of combat MOS. I got 98 on my ASAP. I'm just worried I'll bomb out of 18 X-ray if I don't work my butt off. Yes, you're definitely going to have to work your butt off. So, I mean, a lot of people go on special forces, don't realize that people can fail. Just because you get an 18 X-ray contract doesn't mean that you're going to be selected for special forces. So, oh, Luca, thank you so much. Freaking ridiculous. You guys are amazing. Do you think I should join National Guard in college or the other way around? Luca, I don't know if you saw my video that I just posted about the different paths to go through in the military. But like I said in that video, this is the most common question that I get. So for those of you who are watching this, the most common question I get now when it comes to paths in the military is, should you do the military before or after college? It's kind of up to you. But let's say you just want to stay in the National Guard. If you just want to stay in the National Guard, then I suggest joining, or the Army Reserves. I suggest joining the military before college. Pretty much, in 90% of situations, I suggest joining before. Reason being, if you join later, you're not going to get that time in service, and I think that's something awesome. If you join before college, you're going to get some of the GI Bill for college, and you're going to get those years of time in service. So if you were to ask me, if you want to just stay in the National Guard, I would say to join before college, because that's my only regret is not joining, or my biggest regret is not joining the Army Reserves earlier, like before I started college and had done anything. So anyways, Nicole Sumler, I wish I could stay up, but I have church in the morning. Well, thank you so much, very much for your super chat donation. But I understand, I got church in the morning too. So like, what's going on? But totally okay. I generally stay up late working anyway, so this is not abnormal for me to be up at like 11 o'clock at night doing a live stream. But yeah, so National Guard is still a thing. Yes, the National Guard is 100% still a thing. For the college, would they take it out of your own paycheck or what? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Another thing that that people ask me, with the GI Bill, when it comes to college, and they like ask how you get paid with the GI Bill for college. The GI Bill, right? So when you get military stipends and stuff like that, it just goes directly deposited into your bank account. So whatever bank account you set up with the government, it's going to be directly deposited into that. So if you get the GI Bill, it's not going to go through the school and then go to you like how a normal like grant or something goes. So if you get FAFSA, which is the financial assistance or whatever for college, that goes through the school and then they pay you. Well, the GI Bill goes just directly to you, and technically you could just spend it on whatever. So if you have other means, or you have a scholarship or something that pays for your school, you can still get the GI Bill and then use it for gas or food or whatever. Just to help you. It's to help you really to get through college, which technically helps you pay for college. So yeah, so you get paid just directly into your bank account. So Army Aesthetic, Army JRTC will help me in what? Don't join the Marines. And you will go to basic, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. What are you guys saying? Oh, Geo Nathan Vasquez Rosario. I'm fluent in Arabic, infantry, Army, or Marines. If you're fluent in Arabic, you gotta make sure you try and get that whole different language thing, because if you're fluent in another language and it's a language that the military needs, then you can get paid more for that. So you want to make sure you do that. But Army or Marines, I mean, if you ask me, Army. But obviously if you ask a Marine, they're going to say Marines. So I feel like that's always something kind of difficult to answer, because I wasn't in the Marines. Usually people are in the branch that they want to be in or that they think is the best. Now, I try to have an open mind for a whole bunch of different things. I think every branch has its own place and types of pros and cons and stuff. And for me, I think the Army has the most pros, for my situation. A lot of people, it's the Air Force. People look at the Air Force and they're like, oh, they have the best lifestyle. They have the nicest defects and the nicest buildings and stuff. And if you care about that, or they have not as strict PT standards, that's a good thing for some people. thank you. Where'd it go? Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. What are some good careers for when you get done with the military, Kevin? I mean, it just depends on what you like, right? So I can't just say like a certain thing, but I will say that the military definitely gives you really good leadership skills, especially if you try to do that. So there's a lot of situations when you're going to be in a leadership position, whether you're leading a team or a squad or a platoon or whatever, even just at a small level, there's going to be situations when we have to do that. Now, the higher up you go in the actual military, you know, you're going to be in charge of more things. So you're going to basically be able to get a management position in the civilian world a lot easier with military experience. So the military might give you that opportunity to kind of skip a step. So instead of, you know, working a couple years and then becoming a manager, doing the military could just go ahead and give you that management slot. So that could be a thing. So did Forest Rain Media just donate $10 for super chat? Freaking ridiculous. Oh, thank you so much. Someone mentioned 68 Wixie, thought it was great for Staff Sergeant Peck, was featured during the State of the Union, kept it BB alive by performing CPR. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Sure, I always love your content, Matt. Thank you, Forrest. Thank you. But yeah, that was pretty cool. A lot of people liked President Trump's like story people that he talked about. Which, I mean, I always think is really interesting how they do that. Like, they're at a speech and then they bring people to, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. It's a huge honor for them. But anyways. What am I missing here? I was at Future Soldier Training on Thursday at the Regional Recruitment Center. A Marine crashed into a light pole in the parking lot and broke his wrist, and ship date in August. Will he leave? August is several months from now, so I think he would probably still be able to go. He might have to obviously get a waiver for it now. But yeah, so timid ghost. I have a very timid voice. I mean, I guess your name like super applies. But will I get called out for this at basic? If I'm being completely honest, yes. So people who aren't loud will kind of not get called out for it, but be yelled at for not yelling loud, right? Or not outgoing, but like not yelling. You know, I've talked about that in the how to impress your drill sergeant thing. Like, people don't understand, like, yelling is a big part in basic training. Like, it really is. And so if you're not used to yelling, if you're doing some kind of command and you don't yell it, then the drill sergeants will give you crap for that. So if that's what I'm telling you, like, the drill sergeants will be the ones to call you out for it, not your other soldiers. Because your other soldiers that can be in your platoon, they might know, hey, this person is shy. They're probably not going to like pick on you or anything for that. But the drill sergeants are a different story. They're going to get onto you for it more so than your platoon mates, I guess. Anyways, do I like my rank? Yes. Matt, is your brother deployed? Yes, my brother is currently deployed in Afghanistan right now. I got a lot of things on my phone right now. Hold on, just a minute. I gotta reply to this thing. So anyways, my brother is currently deployed. So like on my Instagram, you guys can see this is a picture. He is right here. This is my brother. What they did in this picture, if you guys are curious, so every now and then you might have like a range day where you just go to the range and practice shooting and stuff. And what they were doing that day was practicing with their gas masks on. So basically some CBurn training or whatever. But they were shooting with their gas masks on. So that's what they were doing there. In one of your videos you said sit-ups and planks are not good ab workouts. Can you do a video about ab workouts? What ab workouts are best? Yeah, so in my sit-ups form video, at the end of that video, I have set different ab exercises for things. But the reason I said sit-ups and planks aren't really good for your abs is because planks, they will strengthen and tighten and tone your core. If you're trying to like build up your abs, like build your abs. Like, so if I'm trying to do, it's like if I'm trying to build up my biceps, right? So I'm trying to build up my biceps. I'm not going to build up my biceps just by picking up and holding a dumbbell, right? I'm not going to build them up by doing that. Yes, it's going to work my biceps. Yes, they'll get tired, but I'm not going to get optimal results by just picking up and holding a dumbbell. Same thing with your plank, with the plank in your core. You're not going to get optimal results just by holding your core together and tightening it and doing that. So that's that. Similar thing with sit-ups. Sit-ups, it just works your legs and stuff a lot. It doesn't really target your core as much as you might think. But yes, at some point in the future, I probably will do a dedicated video to that. So Luca again, MLG Pro over here. If I join the National Guard, should I transfer to active duty, or is that even possible? Yes, it is possible to transfer from the National Guard and or the reserves to active duty, but not the other way around until your contract is up. So during your contract, so if you sign a 6-year contract in the National Guard, or if you sign a 6-year contract in the Army Reserves, technically at any point during that, you could try and switch over to active duty. There might be a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not like you're just going to walk into your first sergeant's office and be like, hey, I want to go active duty. But it's definitely possible. And if you definitely really want to do it, it's definitely possible. But you can't go the other way around. So if you're active duty in your first contract, you're not going to be able to switch to Army Reserves. You're not going to be able to switch to active or to National Guard until your contract is over. So if you have a 4-year contract to active duty, after that 4 years is over, then you can switch to the Army Reserves or the National Guard. But yeah, switching from National Guard to active is definitely possible. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you want to. So the National Guard and the Army Reserves is something to kind of test the waters a little bit. So if you don't know if you're going to like the military, but you kind of want to do it, then join the National Guard or join the Army Reserves. And if it turns out that at some point in the future, or you turn out that you really like it, then you can switch. You don't have that option again if you go active duty. Greetings. Hello. Hi. What is everybody saying hi for? Anyways. Let's see here. Hold on. What? Is this person watching me right now? Are you watching? That's funny. That's funny. What is the chance of getting deployed in the Army Reserves? Basically just as likely as active duty. I will say 2 things. So let's say you're active duty. I'd say on average you deploy every, let's say, 3 to 4 years active duty. In the reserves, you probably on average deploy every 3 to 4 years. But the thing in the reserves is, if being completely honest and transparent, it's a little bit easier, from what I understand, to kind of get out of the deployment. So, you're not supposed to really deploy if you're in school or in certain situations, or if you've got bad family issues and stuff going on. James Ward, is that my brother, James Ward? But anyways, in the reserves, like it's a little bit easier not to deploy if you don't want to. If you're active duty, you're going. Luke's Trucking Life. When you're deployed, do you meet up with other forces from nations very often? It literally depends. So, like, everything depends on your unit. Like, literally, like in the military, like it just depends on your unit. So you could go to a joint base, a joint post. You could do some mission if you're deployed. If that overall campaign or mission involves joint forces with different branches, then yes. But if not, then no. So it literally just depends. Matt is the guy who's made me want to join. Dylan Allen, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sometimes, I don't know how to take that kind of like thank you or compliment. It's interesting to me. And James has been in here a while. So James, this is okay. That's funny. So James Ward, if that's yeah. So James Ward in the live stream right now is my little brother who is deployed in Afghanistan. So you guys should ask him questions. James Ward in the comments on the super chat is deployed in Afghanistan right now, and you guys should send him. You should ask him questions. So, anyways, Tommy. Oh, Luke's Truck in Life. Yeah, so God, you guys are crazy with the donations. Do y'all see that? That is freaking ridiculous what the super chat looks like right now. Tommy, McDonald's finally reveals why it doesn't offer mayonnaise in UK restaurants. This is groundbreaking. Is that seriously a thing? Because I didn't know that, Tommy. I did not know that. So, yeah. So y'all should, if James is still watching, y'all should say, "Hey, how's it over there in Afghanistan?" James Ward drops warheads on foreheads. What? Do combat engineers? What is he? What unit are you in? What is he saying? James Ward, you should donate $10 to Matt and say, "You owe me $10, brother." That's funny. Tommy Katera, yes, it is a thing. I didn't know that. Tactical forehead inbound. That's funny. Is your unit getting enough care packages and mail? No, you skipped my question. Crushed ice. Okay, what did you say? Crushed ice. Do combat engineers often deploy with special forces? Because I'd like the special forces patches as my combat patch. It literally, like, any MOS could really kind of be attached to a special forces unit. Like, it could be a sustainment or a support unit. But again, same thing that I said before, it just depends. There is no way really that you're going to be able to control that. So sometimes all right, so your unit patch is your left shoulder, your right patch is your combat patch, your deployment patch. So if somebody has a special forces patch on their right shoulder, it just means that they were deployed with that unit, not necessarily that they're in special forces. So anyways, Mr. Peace plays $2. What? How do you first enlist in the military? The first step for enlisting in the military is Google recruiter's office, call the number. They're going to ask you a few questions. You're going to talk to them, and they're going to ask you like 5 questions just to make sure that you're at least good enough to come in and talk to them, as far as like, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Hopefully no. And then you will set up a time and go talk to a recruiter. You can go in and just walk in and talk to a recruiter. They generally don't like that as much. Anyways, we are time travelers _ Void. I wish time travel would be freaking awesome. Luke's Truck in Life. You're ridiculous. How prevalent is tobacco in the military? A lot of people are smokers. I would say it's pretty prevalent. Smokers and dippers to chewing tobacco, not chewing tobacco, but people who dip and people who smoke, I think is pretty prevalent. James, I'm just saying, you're doing a pretty bad job of replying to all these people, because there's a lot of questions being asked to you, and I don't see you replying that much. You're doing terrible. Oh, and I had like a couple people ask if me and James were going to do a video on Afghanistan when he gets home, and I think we plan on it. At least I want to ask him a lot of questions. So I want to ask my brother a lot of questions about Afghanistan, because I've never been to Afghanistan, and I'm just going to like record it. So, that's how it works. What do you need for an Option 40 contract? You need a higher ASVAB score, so you're not going to be able to get an Option 40 contract with like the Army minimum, which is a 31. I believe you're going to have to pass another additional PT test, and then before you go to be eligible, and then I believe be eligible for a security clearance. You can look up the exact requirements, but it is definitely harder than just joining whatever randomly. How difficult is boot camp? It just depends. In my opinion, it depends on your physical fitness. If you're physically fit, the physical aspect is not difficult. It's just then it becomes a mental game. So it just I don't think it's super difficult. I mean, 99% of people pass it. So yeah, 110 GT score, which equates to like a 70, 60s, upper 60s ASVAB score. What's the story behind your sword? Yeah, my sword's right over there. But the story behind my sword, which I feel like sounds kind of like a tongue twister, is it was the trophy. It was basically the trophy. My sword, which if you guys didn't know, like it's like a legit sword that you get in the military or in the army. So in the army, you can kind of wear a sword as a part of your uniform. Usually it's for like Cav Scouts and stuff. But that is basically a trophy that I got for winning the Soldier of the Year for the 143rd Sustainment Command for the Soldier of the Year. That's what I got for that. I got that in Florida. It's a pretty long story. I actually took James with me. So if you go to my Instagram page, so shout out, plug in my Instagram page. So if you go to my Instagram, down here, if you go back to like a year and a half ago, you'll see when I got awarded that sword, there was like a 1-star general who gave it to me or whatever. James was actually there, and it was pretty cool. So anyways, how did you get into college RTC? I'm most likely gonna get accepted to West. I'm most likely gonna get accepted to West Point. If you get accepted to West Point, that's awesome. But to get into ROTC in college is literally just as simple as signing up for the course. That is literally what it is. And then if you want to get contracted, it's just a matter of do you meet the standards of GPA and medical requirements and freaking your PT score. So that's it. Then you can get contracted. So it's not that difficult to get an RTC. Luke's Trucking Life. Gotta go. Stay safe, Ward Brothers. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know James appreciates that as well. Ellen coming in here with freaking $20 super chat. You're ridiculous, Ellen. Thank you so very much. Shout out to you. Why do you always go live when I'm at work? LOL. Thanks for all you do for us, Matt. On my way to making my PT score go up every day. I'll be sure and watch the full stream tomorrow. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you, Ellen. I really appreciate that. You're one of the MLG pros. Like, you're one of the MLGs. Let me do this. Let's boom. So Ellen is freaking awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot. Trans can't join the military. That is, unless that's been changed, that's not true. Because I know I just had a trans brief not long ago. But things might have changed. Things change all the freaking time. Can you dip in AIT? Not in uniform. For my AIT. It depends on your SOP for your unit. But for my AIT 25 Bravo, not in uniform after the duty day. You could. But yeah, they also had a smoking pit kind of too at my AIT. But again, like for AIT, it just depends sometimes on where you go. Different MOSs, so different posts, different training things. They all have different SOPs, standard operating procedures on how they do things. So it kind of just depends. Have I considered selling merch? Yes. I mean, I think every YouTuber has thought about it at some point. Whether or not I will do it anytime soon, that is going to be the question. But I do know that if I do it, it's not going to be non-awesome, if that makes any sense. Like, if I do it, they're going to be, like, cool shirts. They're going to be really good quality, and I don't plan on making, like, any money off of it. I just want to do it to more or less give back to you guys so we can have, like, something awesome together. Like, I plan on making it really cool. I actually looked into things before, so like the best quality thing I could do, and then I would just like sell it at that price. So like y'all would be basically buying it at the wholesale price, and I wouldn't make anything. And that's my plan. That is my plan. At some point, if I do it, which will be probably a really long time from now. That's what I would want to do, and it'll be like almost like a brand in a way. So, or what I would like to do. This is my other plan. If I were to do something like that, if I were to, a lot of people might want me to make money because they want to buy a T-shirt so they can give back to me. So if you were to buy a T-shirt and if I were to, sell it for $25 and it was $15 to make the T-shirt, then I could have for all of you guys just like, like a coupon code or one of those codes. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I haven't thought about it too much, but anyways, Casey Robinson, what the heck? Is basic training really simple? Jeremy Jacobs. Yes and no. It's simple in the fact that all you really have to do is wake up every morning, go to PT, and do what the drill sergeants say. It's complicated in the fact that you wake up every morning and no matter what you do, the drill sergeants are going to be mad at you. And it's just like no matter what you do, something's going to happen. So like a lot of my tips will help you guys avoid certain things, right? So a lot of my tips will help you guys avoid a lot of issues with the drill sergeants. But that doesn't mean there's going to be no issues, right? It just means that you're going to have less issues or the drill sergeants are going to come up with dumber reasons for smoking you or getting mad at you. So, but anyways. Will you get promoted and or get paid more while in basic if you're a platoon leader? No. Mr. Peace plays, no. You will not get paid more for that stress. No. You'll not. Carla, thank you. Where did you go for AIT? I went to Fort Gordon, Echo 551. What's your favorite fruit? That is an awesome question. I love it. I like it when you guys ask me random questions. Like, not that I don't want you guys to ask me military questions because that's kind of why I'm doing this. But I love when you guys just ask me random off-the-wall questions. So, what's my favorite fruit? My favorite fruit, I would say, watermelon is a fruit, even though it comes from the ground. So, watermelon, yes, watermelon. Definitely. Then my favorite fruit to drink, I love orange juice. So that's that. Anyways. It's tough for sure. Just took it Friday, but what did he say? Where am I stationed at? Right now I'm not stationed anywhere because I'm going through the ROTC program to be an officer. So I'm stationed or I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. How tall am I? 5'10" and a quarter. Watermelon is a fruit. What is your favorite activity besides working out and being cute? No homo. Oh my gosh. My favorite activity. By the way, that reminds me. What? Hold on. What did I? So, what was that question? What's your favorite activity besides working out? Activity besides working out. Oof, that's a difficult one. What do I like doing? That's physical activity, not like something else. So I like learning new things. Sometimes in my spare time, I might learn a new editing trick or something like that, or some programming language stuff. But as far as an activity, I love baseball, but I don't really do that as in my spare time. And I like running now. What is a good activity besides working out? I don't know. That's a difficult freaking question because for the past couple years of my life, when I have free time, I exercise. And if it's not playing baseball, I'm just going to say playing baseball. He likes being a nerd. No, I like learning things. I don't like whatever. If people call me a nerd or whatever, nerds rule the world, right? But there's this thing that somebody said, or I read this quote or something, and it was like, when you stop learning is when you die, basically. And now that probably sounds dark or whatever, but like if you just stop learning new things and stop expanding your knowledge on life, things that you're interested in, then it's just like life becomes super boring. And so I like learning new things all the time. I'm always trying to learn new things. And a lot of times whenever I have free time, I fill that time with doing something productive, which generally means if I don't have something to do, then I learn something. And whether that's learning a new editing technique or Photoshop stuff or YouTube, whatever, like, or learning a new programming language or just like things to do like that is interesting to me. So bettering myself. Is it worth it to go into basic knowing you can get a 300 on the PT test? Yes. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. What? Hold on. Okay, so anyways. Winston-Salem. You live in Winston-Salem? I haven't been to Winston-Salem in... It's been like a year. How many years are you serving? What happens if you get married during service? Does your pay go up? Your pay... Alright, so how many years? 3 years. Your pay doesn't go up, but you get extra pay for being married, basically. That's a short answer. For arms, what your favorite muscle to work for your tricep or biceps? My favorite is triceps. I like working triceps more for sure. I was never really like a huge bicep person. Let me see. I mean, they're not that bad. You can't really tell. But my biceps are pretty strong. But like I think aesthetically, just like genetics has to do with biceps and stuff sometimes. But I don't know. I never really liked working biceps that much just because they don't really help that much with sports. Whenever I first started working out, a big focus on why I was working out was to improve my skills or whatever in baseball. So if you want to, if I was a pitcher, if I want to throw faster, one of the body parts you need to work is your tricep. You don't work your biceps. Don't really help with anything as far as sports goes. You know, it might help a little bit with football if you're a running back or something. You're holding onto the ball. But biceps don't help that much when it comes to sports. So I never really liked working out my biceps when it comes to that. Now I'm trying to do it more because I know I neglected it a lot whenever I first started working out years ago. What is your favorite meal after a long, hard day? Good question, Anne. I basically eat the same thing all the time, but if I were to, whenever I have a long, hard day, I usually don't eat that clean at all, really. So if I were to have a favorite meal, I would just like cook myself a couple of burgers, some bacon cheeseburgers. So I would make some bacon, throw on some burgers and cheese, and then maybe I would have some ice cream afterwards because I freaking love ice cream. So... Who is your favorite sub? Alex Stinson? That is a difficult question to answer, and I don't know if I can answer that one. I love a lot of you guys. So anyways, Evan T. Rex over here going awesome with the super chat. Now that the transgender ban is lifted and hopefully Trump isn't taking recruits to court, should I re-enroll in RTC or just wait for OCS next year? I don't know how long you would have been in college, but if you don't want to worry about ROTC, then yeah, you can graduate and then go the whole OCS route. If you've got like 1 year left of college, I would just do OCS. If you've got 2 years left of college, then maybe re-enroll. So, I'm your favorite sub, Casey Robinson. Yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of you guys. You guys are awesome. 101 people watching right now. 101. What is your favorite MRE? My favorite MRE is an MRE that you can't eat a lot of, which is chili with beans. Chili with beans is a really good MRE because the MRE itself is good. It doesn't really have to be heated up, and it comes with cornbread and a brownie. The cornbread in MREs is just like amazing. The brownie that comes with these is also amazing. So it's like one of the least healthy MREs, but it is good. And you cannot eat multiple chili with beans MREs in a day or in a couple of days span, because that will jack you up. But it is definitely it's really good. Chili mac is good. Taco salad is good. A lot of the vegetarian MREs are actually really good. So if you get a vegetarian MRE, a lot of times they do have like candy in it, or they have like peanut butter in those, but they're actually not that bad. Matt, have you talked about your brother's MOS? I really want to hear about being an FO. Yes, me and my brother James, we actually made a video together on 13 Fox and what that was like. So you guys can check that out if you want to, and you can hear it from him of 13 Fox, at least that experience. And then like maybe whenever he comes home from his deployment, I don't know if he's still watching this right now, but maybe when James comes home from Afghanistan, we can talk about, did he actually do what his job was while he was deployed, or did he do something else? Because sometimes you might get to do your job, and then sometimes you might not get to do your job. You might do something different. It's not like you're doing a different job, but you just won't be doing your job as much because you're not specialized in it yet, right? So we can talk about that. Watching you on 2 phones. Oh, that's just freaking amazing. Thank you. That's awesome. Would you rather know when you're going to die or how you're going to die? I would rather know. I would rather know 100% certain how I'm going. No. If I were to know how I was going to die, then whenever, like, let's say how I was going to die was a car wreck. If I knew for 100% certainty that how I was going to die was going to be a car wreck, then I would be like terrified of cars for the rest of my life. But I could die in a car wreck whenever I'm 90, and I'm 24 right now, so I don't want to be terrified of cars for forever. But then if you knew when you were going to die, let's say I knew I was going to die at 30, yeah, I could live it up for the next 6 years, but that's kind of depressing to me to know that I was going to die at 30. So, like, to know when you're going to die, I feel like it would almost be depressing. But then to know how you were going to die would make you paranoid. That's a really good question, and I don't know. But if I were to have to say something, I would say when I was going to die, and hopefully it would be 170 years old. That's what I hope. I hope technology helps so I don't have to die young. What happens if you don't get along with guys in your platoon? Can you ask who moved, or just have to suck it up? You 100% have to just freaking suck it up. You're not always going to be with people that you like. There's going to be people in the military that you hate, that get on your nerves, that are pieces of crap. You're just going to have to deal with people. And that's how it's going to be. And that's probably going to happen. Not everybody is going to love you, especially if you're in a leadership position. Are combat engineers considered pogues? I would say for the vast majority of people, no. But if you ask an infantry guy, they're going to be like, no, only infantry is not a pogue. Or like SF or something. Do they allow you to roll your sleeves in ROTC? Not at my battalion. It would definitely be a no. Maybe at some other ones, because the rule for rolling up your sleeves with the OCP camos is it's up to your commander's discretion. So it's up to your commander whether or not you can do that. What do you like to eat/drink after muscle failure days? Definitely eat a lot of meat, drink a protein shake, rehydrate, drink a lot of water. But I like to just eat a lot of meat. So, however I can get that meat in. You should change your channel name to "So You Decided to Join the Army," because you open up almost every video saying that. Yep, that is the one. I'm totally not changing my name. I just changed my name from those of you who didn't know. It used to be Shoot 'em Up 89. So if you look at all my old videos, in the bottom right hand corner it says Shoot 'em Up 89. But then I changed it to my actual name. I am never going to change my YouTube name again. But the reason I start a lot of my videos with "So you decided to join the army" is because that's kind of like who a lot of my target audience is. It's a lot of you guys who have decided to join the army or have decided to join the military. So I'm like, so you decided to join the army, blah 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 blah. And whenever I first started, I think I might have done this in like my first ever video that I did before basic training. The whole series that I was gonna do, in all the titles, it was gonna be "So you decided to join the army, this. So you decided to join the army, this." And that's a terrible titles format to do. So I don't do that anymore. But yeah, the reason I say that is because that's who most of you are. You guys have decided to join the military, and I want to help you out. So you decided to join. All right. What's your favorite energy drink? Red Bull, sugar-free, 0-calorie Red Bull. Or maybe it's like 10 calories. It's just sugar-free. It's not 0-calorie. Matt, why the Army? Why not another branch? Long story short, I always wanted to join the Army. I never, ever considered another branch. Didn't ever consider it. So, yep. It was always the Army for me, so that's why the Army. What made you make a YouTube channel? So, I've had a YouTube channel for like 6 years. A lot of people don't know because you might not look at my older videos, but I used to make Call of Duty videos a long time ago. I started making Call of Duty videos like 6 years ago, and they were crappy. So I wanted to make Call of Duty videos because I wanted to, in a way, help people get better at Call of Duty. It's kind of funny because now I want to make videos to help you guys get in shape and get prepared for the military. But what made me want to make Army videos or Army related videos, Army informational videos related to this is because 3 years ago, whenever I decided to join the military, I looked up on YouTube. If you look at military YouTubers right now, really none of them are older than 3 years old, right? So they've all started within those 3 years. And whenever I decided to join 3 years ago, I was doing exactly what a lot of you guys are doing, which is looking for things on YouTube. Like, what is basic training like? Like, I wanted to know. I had no clue what basic training was like, you know. There was nobody that I could go to and talk to about the Army. It was just my recruiter. And I was curious, what is basic training like? Like, I've decided to join the military. What is it going to be like? And there was like nothing at all on there. The only things there were like some of those documentaries that you see, that like the Army, the actual Army will put out, and that's all just kind of like fluff stuff. You don't get a feel for it, and that's what I wanted. So what I decided to do before I left was I decided to make 2 videos talking about what my MEPS and recruiting experience was like, because I wanted to know what MEPS was like, and I couldn't find that. So I made a video talking about what MEPS was like for the people coming behind me. So for the 20,000 plus people that have seen that video, I made that for you guys, because whenever I went, I didn't have that to look forward to. I also made a video on what drill was like in the Army Reserves, because I wanted to know, what is drill like in the Army Reserves? So I made a video about what drill was like for me before I left for basic training. And then whenever I got done with basic and AIT, then I saw that, hey, holy crap, that video that I made's got like 10,000 views. There's actually a lot of people who are curious about some of the same things that I'm curious about. So what I did was I then made a video on what basic training was like day 1, what red phase was like, what blue phase was like, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. So that was a super long, drawn-out answer. But the long story short, the reason I started making Army videos is because there was a lot of questions that I wanted answered that I didn't get answered, and I want to answer those questions for y'all. And that is why I started. So technically, I was like one of the first Army YouTubers right now. If I would have just kept going, man, we would be awesome right now. If I would have just kept going, but I didn't. I made those 2 videos, and then it was like a year and a half after training from then. So that was stupid. But anyways, so do I still play COD? Yes and no. Pretty much the only time I play now is if I live stream. I want to live stream with you guys, but I just don't really have that much time. So, like, if you were to look back at me from a couple years ago, instead of me live streaming right now, I probably would have been playing Call of Duty. But instead, I'm live streaming because I have this little bit of free time. So, anyways, my father was in the Army for 20 years. I would only choose the Army if I was young again. Yep, that sucks. Like, if people, that's what I said. That's why I made that one video. The number one reason to join the Army is because a lot of people, they turn past 35 and then they lose the chance. So anyways, I think I'm about to close the stream off here in a minute. I've been talking for a long time. I actually vlogged today. And so what I did before I started the live stream was one of my friends came over. I haven't talked to him in it's been like a year. So it's been a while since I've talked to him. It's been, I don't know, well, like face to face or whatever. We haven't hung out in a while. So we basically just talked for a long time. So I talked for 5 hours before I doing this live stream. So I think I'm ready to stop talking right now. What if you live stream while playing COD? Yeah, I've done that. That's what I've done. If you look at some of the live streams that I did, I think the last time that I live streamed Call of Duty. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe it was a time or two ago. Anyways. What is your cadence? I don't know. One of my favorite things is your left, right, or left, left, right, or left, left, right, or left, keeping it 7, and then it's like, oh, mama, can't you see what the Army's done for me? It took a boy and made a man, now I'll do the best I can. Left, right, or left, left, right, or left, blah, 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 blah. I know a lot of cadences. Anyways, I think I'm going to get off of here. Yeah, so any last comments, questions, or concerns? I'm going to give you guys your final thoughts, final things that you guys want to ask me. Oh, my question for you guys. I've got a question for you guys. Two questions. Number one, if you guys want to answer your questions like this. Number one, who do you think is going to win the military best YouTuber competition? That's number one. Number two, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl tomorrow? Number one, who's going to win the best military YouTuber competition? Number two, who's going to win the Super Bowl? And then number three, are you guys following me on Instagram? It's right here. So who are you going to win? Nava the Beast, me and me. Jonathan Evolves, you and Eagles. No, I'm being honest, Nava. Now I carry an M16. Nick Bear, you Patriots. Eagles. Hopefully Philly Patriots, you, or Yosha Thomas. You Patriots, sadly. You or Nick Bear if he was still active. Nick Bear is actually in the competition. Do they force you to do pugils if you don't want to? Yes, you have to do pugils. But don't worry about it. But anyways, I just want to thank you guys. Remember, on Tuesday, I believe on Tuesday is when my pick is going up on the whole tournament thing. So on Tuesday, expect to vote for me on Kyle Gott's Twitter. I would really appreciate that. When's the next stream? I try to do them every week. Next weekend, I have drill. So probably after drill, I can live stream. But I try to do them every week. It turns out it's every other week now. But I do them when I have free time. That's the answer. On the weekends, when I have free time, I do them. But anyways, thank you all. Thank all of you for saying you want me to win this whole thing. It's gonna be really fun. For me personally, I want the Eagles to win. My dad's from Pennsylvania, so that's kind of just a thing. We want the Eagles to win. I hate the Patriots because I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, and they have beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl, and I hate them for that. But anyways, let me get this stream off of here, and I'm going to cut it off in just a few seconds. And you owe us 2 minutes from the last stream, remember? I remember that. What's your MOS? It was 25 Bravo. Go Eagles. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys later. And I always got to wait a few seconds to hit this button.